Romance of the first night. The heavy, velvet curtains of the bridal suite muted the distant sounds of the wedding celebration below. For the last 10 hours, Leo and Maya had been the center of a whirlwind, a blur of cheers, flashing cameras, clinking glasses, and the well wishes of 200 guests. But the moment the heavy oak door clicked shut behind them, the chaotic energy of the day dissolved into a profound, breathless quiet. The room was bathed in the warm, amber glow of dim lamps. White rose petals traced a delicate path across the hardwood floor toward a canopy bed draped in sheer silk. Maya stood near the center of the room, taking a deep, centering breath. The intricate embroidery of her heavy bridal gown caught the soft light. She reached up, her fingers fumbling slightly with the complex row of silk buttons running down the back of her dress. "Need some help with that?" Leo asked, his voice soft, a gentle contrast to the grandeur of the day. He had already discarded his tuxedo jacket and loosened his bow tie, looking entirely at ease yet completely captivated by her. Maya turned, a small, nervous smile playing on her lips. "Please. I think the designer used 100 buttons just to test your patience." Leo walked over, his steps slow and deliberate. As he stopped behind her, the warmth of his presence immediately calmed the remaining flutter of nerves in her chest. He gathered her dark hair, gently sweeping it over one shoulder to expose the delicate curve of her neck. His fingers were warm as they brushed against her skin, sending a subtle thrill through her. "I have all the time in the world," he whispered. One by one, with meticulous care, Leo began to undo the buttons. He didn't rush. With each loop he freed, his knuckles lightly grazed her back. Maya closed her eyes, leaning into the sensation. The frantic pace of the wedding day completely faded, replaced by an intense focus on the present moment. As the fabric finally parted, Leo didn't immediately pull the dress away. Instead, he pressed a soft, lingering kiss to the space between her shoulder blades. Maya gasped softly, a pleasant warmth spreading through her veins. "You were stunning today," Leo murmured, his hands resting gently on her waist. "But you are absolutely breathtaking right now." He helped her step out of the heavy gown, leaving her in her delicate lace slip. Maya turned to face him, the initial shyness melting into a profound sense of belonging. They had promised their lifetimes to each other just hours ago, but it was here, in the quiet sanctuary of the night, that the reality of their union truly settled in. Leo reached out, cupping her face in his hands. His thumbs gently stroked her cheekbones. When he leaned down to kiss her, it wasn't the performative kiss shared at the altar for the crowd. It was slow, deep, and filled with an unspoken promise of devotion. Maya wrapped her arms around his neck, pulling him closer, anchoring herself to him. The world outside ceased to exist. There were no schedules to keep. No guests to entertain, only the rhythmic sound of their breathing and the undeniable warmth of skin against skin. Leo lifted her effortlessly, carrying her to the bed. The cool silk sheets welcomed them, a stark contrast to the heat building between them. He lay down beside her, propping himself up on one elbow as his hand traced the line of her collarbone, down her arm, interlocking his fingers with hers. "We're finally here," Maya whispered, looking into his eyes, which held a depth of affection that made her heart race. "Just you and me," Leo replied, his gaze unwavering. The night unfolded not with frantic passion, but with a beautiful, lingering tenderness. Every touch was an exploration, a quiet celebration of the commitment they had made. They spoke in low whispers, sharing secret smiles and soft laughs between kisses, cementing the foundation of their shared future. Hours later, as the first faint grey light of dawn began to peek through the edges of the curtains, Maya lay with her head nestled against Leo's chest, listening to the steady, comforting beat of his heart. His arm was wrapped securely around her, his fingers absent-mindedly tracing patterns on her shoulder. They were exhausted, but it was a beautiful, peaceful weariness. The first night of the rest of their lives had passed, leaving behind a quiet certainty that whatever the future held, they would face it exactly like this together, intertwined, and deeply in love.